I'm ready.
Welcome. It's January 3rd, 2021. It's the James, Greg, and Pete podcast, and we are right before Monday Night Football. I am standing in front of an icy path in front of Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We got Pete. We got James. How are you guys doing? We have one more week left in the regular season.
Good. Happy New Year. What a day of football yesterday, huh?
What a day of football, and let's get right into it right away. The Kansas City Chiefs had a chance to move into that position, hold that number one seed, as you can see here, but they gave up a second half lead as Joe Burrow, second-year quarterback, the number one pick 2 years ago, leads the Cincinnati Bengals to their biggest win in 30 years. What do we think about that one, guys?
It looks Mahomes-esque. Mahomes in his first year his first starting year was throwing the ball all over the place, big numbers, big points, all those games, and just fell short of the Super Bowl in his first starting year. And I have a feeling that we're going to see the same out of Joe Burrow this year. I think this year he's gonna light up the stage. They got a ton of momentum in Cincinnati, and but I think they're gonna come short. I think in a big game that matters, maybe like AFC Championship game, I think they're gonna come up short.
I got you. Well, James, let me tell you this: the Cincinnati Bengals have not won a playoff game since 1991. That's 31 years ago. It was the 1990 season. They beat a team that doesn't exist anymore, the Houston Oilers, 41-14 in Cincinnati. Have not won a playoff game since then. Do we see them moving past the first round? And is this a moment for Joe Burrow showing us that he is the quarterback that was meant to be drafted first overall?
Yeah, the Bengals are they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a nasty team. And if they get momentum, they could win a couple games. I think that's the ceiling for them. I remember they had a pretty bad record last year, and then they went and signed a few character guys with playoff experience on their defense. And it's nice to see that work because the Giants do stuff like that and it doesn't work, but good for them. I think they'll be a nasty, tough out in the playoffs. I think their ceiling's like maybe the AFC Championship game, but that's their ceiling. I don't see them getting past there.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. It was definitely a big statement win. And the quarterback in that game for the Cincinnati Bengals, none other than Boomer Esiason, current broadcaster on WFAN. Pete, what are we seeing right here? You said it with Kansas City. Do you see Joe Burrow as being that quarterback that will emerge as a star in this league for a Cincinnati team that has really never had a star quarterback since Ken Anderson in the 70s?
It's tough. It's tough to say. I mean, I'm a firm believer in momentum. We've seen teams look so good and then just fall off. I think we lost Greg.
Yeah, the police shot him.
I'm going to have to stop it.
Yeah.
All right, so is Joe Burrow that star, Pete?
Momentum's a huge thing. I think the Bengals are riding really high. They beat a lot of good teams. They beat the Chiefs. They're riding very strong. They're playing really strong. I just think that next year they'll probably be a really good team, but you can't really identify whether somebody's the real deal in the first year or two.
Yeah.
You got to wait till something bad happens. Where they have to deal with a lot of injuries, where they have to deal with, the star player is not there anymore or something of the sort to really know if this person is legit.
No, I definitely hear you on that one, and that's definitely a concern there. But the future is bright, and you did mention it before with Mahomes' his first season starting. He lost, but then went to the championship, and we do see that a lot in football too. Even Troy Aikman, the year before he won his Super Bowls, he lost to the Detroit Lions of all teams. Not a lot of people remember that one, but that did happen. But moving on,
they have their guy for a bit, barring injury. I think Burrow's going to be pretty good.
Pretty much. And look at Jamar Chase as well. He's just absolutely killing it. Best rookie receiver since Randy Moss right now.
Yep. Numbers.
All right. So, Pete, we're moving on. We're going to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. And boy, did they grind one out for John Madden yesterday. What a tribute to the legend. What a tribute to the coach. Everyone from their biggest rivals in Denver to Kansas City and all over the city, the league, we're giving tributes to this man just as a great broadcaster, a great coach, a great American. That's about 4 generations of football fans. But they grinded one out, played that Madden 70s style, and they won. Pete, they are alive. Get the Chargers next week. They're in the playoffs. Tell us what you saw.
I mean, I saw a team that fought. I saw a team that fought real hard against adversity, everything that they faced this year. And, you know, I called them out when Gruden got resigned. I called them out. I didn't think they were going to do anything after that point. And, you know, it just shows that the team has great continuity for whatever coach decides to come in next year. I don't think Rich maintains the coaching spot going into next year unless they take the Raiders to the AFC Championship game, which I don't see happening. To tell you the truth, I mean, I would love to see my team win this week. I'm very optimistic. However, I am a realist, and I have seen the Raiders as of late lose in win or go home games.
That is true.
So, and I mean, this team is 1-3-0 against the Colts. The score was close, but it shouldn't have been that close. They handed a couple of touchdowns to them that game. You know, not knowing that they're going to run the ball on with 4 seconds left before the half. I mean that, and then the collision amongst defensive backs on the interception play. I just think that they're playing really good football. The locker room is very focused. They have a great roster.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing they're missing is that head coach, and I think that's going to really. I think their ceiling is met.
Yeah, James, what do you think of what he just said about that? They lost John Gruden. They got a new coach in. Would Gruden have been the difference? What's going on with the Raiders? They were left for dead, and they're back.
It's very impressive to have dealt with losing your coach and then the Ruggs incident and to look really shitty. Like, let's be honest, they looked really bad for a couple weeks. They got scraped by the Chiefs, like bad. They just didn't even show up for that game after, like kind of taking a dump on their logo. Mm-hmm. But I think, when is Waller due back, Pete? I think if they're going to make any noise, they need that huge weapon that's every bit as good as Kelsey or Gronk when he's playing. When is do we know, next week?
Yeah, he was supposed to come back to play this Sunday, but he was out for COVID protocol. So that's only 5 days. So I can imagine that he's playing this Sunday.
Yeah, he better, but wasn't he out before this though? So he got better, then had COVID protocol.
Well, no, he was hurt. No, he never came back after being hurt. He was out for 3 weeks with an injury.
And right, then COVID protocol after. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like your chances with him playing, and especially, I feel like you got your you played your best game of these 3 in this win streak against the best team. I thought you guys played an absolutely depleted Browns team and were lucky to beat them. And before that, what was it before that?
Denver.
Oh, Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, Denver looks to have completely collapsed, and you guys kind of started that, and they were right there with you. They could have won that game.
And that's who the Chargers beat yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you played your best game against the best of those 3 teams by a large margin, which makes this, like you said you like momentum, and I think beating a good team in effectively an early playoff game. This was a playoff game for your team. They're out.
Their playoffs started. Yeah, their playoffs started.
Yeah. So it bodes well next week. I think it's the best game of next week. That they better flex that into the nighttime.
It's
spot.
Sunday night. They've already announced that's going to be Sunday night. That'll be the late game that will decide the last playoff spot. It's looking like.
Yeah, also, it's the only winning in, right? It's the only game where both of the teams are. No one's playing spoiler. They're both trying to get in, and
Well, the only other game the AFC right now.
Maybe I'll come over and watch that at your place, Pete.
The only other game in the AFC, there could be a clincher. It'll be Indianapolis in Jacksonville. Indianapolis wins. They do go to the playoffs. So that
Yeah,
one looks pretty good.
Jackson.
The other team right now with the AFC, and before we conclude this part, is with the Tennessee Titans, and they are hot and they do have momentum right now. Derrick Henry goes down. They bring someone else in and they just keep picking up where they're going. They are currently the number 1 seed. If they win in Houston next week, they do get a bye and they set up the championship game to be in Nashville with a victory after 3 consecutive games here at Arrowhead Stadium. So what do we think of the Tennessee's chances right now going in? Will they beat Houston? Will they secure that number 1 seed? Will they go to the Super Bowl?
Undoubtedly. They could do it with backups.
All of that? I no way.
Well, I don't know Super Bowl. Oh, no. The number 1 seed is locked. I can't see otherwise.
I think this is they'll be the number 1 seed, but I think this is the worst number 1 seed I've ever seen.
Okay.
Well,
like they could lose to anyone in the playoffs. Anyone. I don't think they're very good. They beat up on the Dolphins, who the Dolphins are kind of the reverse argument for momentum because they had trounced, not really trounced. They went on a good run after being terrible, and then like the game that mattered, they just got scraped.
Yeah, they're not quite. They're
3 points. Ugh. But yeah, no, I'm not a believer in Tennessee at all.
No, all right. Well, this is a team 2 years removed from the AFC Championship game where
you put Henry. No Henry, no good as far as I'm concerned.
The one thing I will say though is you got to look at the teams they're matched up against. They did trounce Kansas City 27-3 this year. So if they meet again, that was with Derrick Henry, but they have shown that they can beat the 2-time defending conference champions right there. The other team to be looking at, and they're still alive, the 2. New England and Buffalo. That will be for the division. If Buffalo wins, they win the division. If New England wins and Buffalo loses, New England gets that division. What are we going to see next week? A New England victory for the division, or are we going to see Buffalo take it?
I think Buffalo wins.
Buffalo. Why do you see Buffalo taking it?
They're playing such good football right now. I don't think they lose any more regular season games. It's just a hunch. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you can't count out New England with a huge trouncing over Jacksonville with a 50-10 win. That was if you had that 0-0 in your pool right there, if you're in Boston, the Boston area, you would have hit that. But there was also another game too that went over 50 points. The Seattle Seahawks knocking off the Detroit Lions. We're not going to get to that one. Not that big of a game, but 2 teams did hit 50. So where do we see this? If Tennessee gets it, I just want to see who the seeds fall. Do we see the Chiefs going back for a 3rd year in a row and doing something only the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Buffalo Bills have done? 3 consecutive Super Bowls.
The team to beat, right? Back down to that Tennessee talk. So Henry is slated to return in 2 weeks. So he's going to play in whatever playoff game that they play. If they get the bye, he has an extra week to rest. So it will be essentially 3 weeks before Tennessee would play, and Henry would be pretty fresh before that game. Here's another stat. We were talking about the Colts before. It's been 6 years since the Colts have won in Jacksonville.
Wait, what?
Wait, weirdest stat?
Yeah.
They had Andrew Luck a few of those years. Okay.
So they for some reason traveling to Jacksonville and playing there is not easy. And the line is 9.5. And I was thinking, there's no doubt that the Colts are going to beat them. But then all of a sudden, for some reason, Jacksonville just suits up for the Colts when they're at home. That's
It's those division rivalries. They're absolutely crazy. Well, we'll be back with the NFC talk in just a second here.
all right.